Hello everyone and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video we're going to be updating on the SNAP benefits controversy apparently for the month of November, and basically, what has Trump said, what is the White House clarifying, what is USDA saying, and what are the responses from the states, and then we're also going to talk about specifically Mississippi, what to expect or what we know so far. Spoiler, not much. And then also something that I've just come across that is very interesting, that I want to point out for Mississippians when it comes to SNAP benefits. This could be a very huge concern. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you are new here, welcome to ClearTalk. If you would like to check out videos from the rest of the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to help get videos to more people. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, JMDPLAY, Puzzling, that would be very much appreciated as well. Consider subscribing to those. That would be great. If you like what you see there. If you want to help in any kind of way, give any kind of support, there's Patreon there for $3 a month to help keep the channels going, help grow the channels, help grow Patreon, to better benefit you. And if you want to, or if you just want to give one-time support, donation or whatever, there's a link there as well. Any way you want to help support JMD Nation and become a part of JMD Nation, that is very much appreciated, and I thank you very much. If you are returning, you're freaking amazing. Thank you very much for keep coming back over and over and over again, because you are what makes up JMD Nation. So we'll swap. So what happened here? As we remember, we have the shutdown, right? Going on. This now is the longest shutdown in history. I think at 37 days now, 37, 30, I think it's 37. Which exactly what they wanted. We've kind of already touched that. But this has interfered with SNAP benefits being released for the month of November because the administration previously stated that they could not fund it, even arguing that SNAP didn't even exist because there was no funding for it. And that even though there was a contingency fund that could be accessed by the administration to pay for SNAP benefits, like it has in previous shutdowns, including the previous long one, the 35 days during Trump's first administration. But they claimed that they could not touch that contingency fund. That's their, and that was their excuse, so that they could hold not feeding Americans as a as a pressure campaign to try to force Democrats to fold on the government shutdown, as we've already talked about. So basically, the Trump administration using the SNAP program to force the Democrats to fold on the shutdown and allow for a bill to pass that's going to ultimately cut SNAP benefits, along with doubling your health care premiums. This is how this administration works, and we've talked about all that. Well, what we previously had was, I think it was like Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We had two, I think, federal judges that made rulings basically stating that the administration had to use the contingency funds to pay for SNAP, just like it had previously done in other shutdowns, and that they needed to come up with a plan to at least in partially fund SNAP, and to agree that they could use the contingency plans, and even gave them other alternatives of moving funds around to help fund it completely. but the administration rejected those additional avenues of funding, but stated that at first they tried to state that they could not, that they would look into it, but didn't know if they could do anything. Then they come back stating that they could fund and that it would be about 50% reduction. Now their state, they turned around and come back after some argument from different groups, now stating that it's like that it would only be like a 35% reduction. But they've come up with this guideline to help states in trying to implement these payments that has kind of convoluted the process a little bit. And some states, while some states have quickly kind of figured out a way of trying to implement them within their state systems that can allow them to get funds out by as early as next week. Other states with systems that are a little bit more complicated, because each state has their own kind of system and how they implement and pay out to certain degrees to their, to recipients. It could actually, this process has caused some states to argue that this is going to take them way longer than necessary, and that this has been overcomplicated in how they were going to be able to issue, and it could take multiple weeks for them to try to get these funds released, which is not helpful whatsoever to recipients for those states. And then some states have yet to even receive guidelines, as we will talk about here. But how did this all kind of begin for this week? In the confusion and stuff. Well, we first start out Mr. Donald Trump. Truths on his Truth Social. SNAP benefits, this was November 4th at 10 a.m. SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP. Okay, furthermore, let's clarify this to start with. The peak of SNAP benefit cost was in 2022. And that was roughly around 10 billion with a B, 10 billion for the month on average during 2022. This was after the COVID. This was during the COVID crisis, where you've had people lose their jobs, unemployed, were not making as much or little money at all. And so SNAP benefits were increased purposely to cover the loss of income for people all across the country due to COVID. That's the reason why the program went up, and that was at its peak, was 10 billion. Here recently, Trump tried to claim that or at least the way I took it, from the numbers that he was throwing out, because he claimed that he had it around 7 billion or something like that. 6 or 7, and that's not trying to be cute here, but that's literally about what he was saying. But under the Biden administration, it was upwards, multiple times more, and he threw out like 47 billion, which I thought was just like, what are you talking about? That, and the only way I could even figure what he was talking about was per month, because neither number makes any sense unless he was trying to argue that he averaged around 6-7 billion a month. Again, sorry. While the Biden administration was hitting a peak of like 40 something billion, which is just absolutely not true. At peak, like I said, in 2022 was 10 billion. And that was because of COVID error. But after COVID, each year, 2023 and 2024 decreased down 9 billion and 8 billion, I think, respectfully, or in there. And this year was on track to be less than that. Although now it is peaked for this month back up to about 9 billion. In estimates by our own government, by the USDA. So this is just a false, just complete lies and made up BS there. But he continues to go on and say that will be given only SNAP benefits will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do, and not before. So he's stating here that SNAP benefits will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, and not before. This threw up red flags like crazy and had people like, whoa, wait a minute. He was court ordered to release funds, and now he is stating on True Social that it was not going to happen, that he was not going to release funds, that SNAP would not be paid until the radical left Democrats open up government. This is what he was stating. So immediately after that, you had the White House have to clarify this. And this is how Leavitt clarifies.
Did the administration distribute that money or defy that court order?
No, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what he was referring to in his Truth Social post. So
that's what he would. That is the biggest lie. That is like straight up a bullshit lie. That is not what he was referring to here. Future, he was referring to future. This is how, come on. Bullshit. Like that meme of the little kid in the car. Bullshit? It is bullshit? Yeah, that's bullshit. This is a straight cover up. No. That's not what he meant. It's not what he meant. We are completely in compliance. We're not. He was talking about the future. Because he was talking about next month. These people are insane. These people are insane.
The Department of Agriculture, as for the latest SNAP payment in the judge's order, put out guidance to states today on how to get that money to the recipients of SNAP. But it's going to take some time. The best way to get the full amount of SNAP benefits to those beneficiaries is for Democrats to reopen the government.
All right. Well, y'all are the ones that are actually, y'all could have went ahead and paid. They know that they could have went ahead and paid. They used this as a pressure campaign. So what we have is 41.7 million Americans who rely on the currently paused SNAP could expect relief immediately. Shouldn't expect relief immediately. Partial November payments are set to be distributed after the Trump administration agreed to comply with court order demanding the U.S. Department of Agriculture use contingency funds to pay for SNAP benefits amid the ongoing shutdown. A November 4th post, we stated, shows Donald Trump appeared to contradict that, saying his administration would not pay food assistance benefits until the federal shutdown ends. But the White House press secretary later said the post didn't reflect plans to violate the ruling. The administration fully complying with the order. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take time, though. Getting payments out in November is a multi-layered issue in due part to the apparent lack of funds. The USDA said it currently has $4.65 billion in SNAP contingency funds, which is about half of the $9.2 billion Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins said SNAP will cost in November. This money will only be able to cover 50% of eligible households' current allotment, the administration told Rhode Island federal judge John McConnell, meaning partial payments will have to be distributed. As this has never been done before in the history of the program, it will likely take states days, weeks, or even months to reprogram their systems and work with contractors to enable partial payments, USDA official Patrick Penn told the court. Additionally, the actual distribution of SNAP funds to recipients is handled by state, which is not operated under one universal timeline or framework. The unprecedented nature of such a disruption to the program continues to leave a lot of questions despite the court rulings and the Trump administration's promise to release the funds. There isn't a national distribution date for SNAP benefits. SNAP recipients will have to look to their state governments for information about when these SNAP benefits could be sent out. While the first of the month is often associated with the payment of general government benefits, payment dates differ by state. Even within states, the dates vary by recipient, with some using Social Security numbers, last names, or case numbers to determine who receives money on which day of the month. In Arizona, for example, payments are made between 1st and the 13th of the month, depending on the first letter of the recipient's last name. And that's crazy. Do they go like in alphabetical order? So you're just lucky to get yours first if your last name starts with an A. That's wild. And if that's the case, in Arkansas, payments come between the 4th and the 13th and are determined by the final digit in Social Security numbers. That's also crazy. How to find out when SNAP will be paid in your state government, specifically the Department of Health and Human Services, Family and Social Services, Disability Services, or similar agencies will have to have the most updated information about SNAP programs where you live. Many states will still figure out the path ahead, are still figuring out. Like North Carolina, DHS said it has updated its program payment system to enable payments to direct at the direction of the USDA. That could be, next week to their EBT cards. Pennsylvania, though, this is one of the big ones that is pushed back. That is not clear when payments will be made, and advised the state's Department of Health will notify SNAP recipients when SNAP programs can resume. Pennsylvania has argued that their system is so complicated, or that the way that they set up the benefits in their system to be released, that the guidelines given by the USDA are overcomplicated and will cause them, like just the programming alone to try to update their system is going to take them at least a week, if not multiple weeks, to update. I don't know what's going on there. But Ohio's Department of Job and Family Services similar said on November 4th that it would notify SNAP recipients regarding when they will receive their partial November benefits, and that the recalculated amount under the new federal guidelines. And of course, there are the states that are funding, going ahead and funding with their own funds. A handful of states have migrated the disruption by taking action with their own funds. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Louisiana, Minnesota, Rhode Island, New Mexico, New York, Vermont, and Virginia, among other states, announced plans to supplement SNAP funding to some capacity or use state money to purchase food or food banks. So, yeah, that is kind of the update at the moment. It said 50%. I think they turned around and come back now saying that it would be only a 30% reduction. So now it should be around 65% of eligible households, or 65% of the payment to eligible households. But this still is going to cause a disruption at the very least. And no telling when. It could be next week for some recipients, could be the following week after that, or multiple weeks before they receive. It could be next month before some receive. And then on top of that, I mean, there were I've seen video and pictures of food banks lined up. One notably was in Texas, where a food bank was just piled full of cars trying to access and get in, to try to find, and on top of that, even the food banks are in trouble because the administration has denied like 94 billion pounds of, or million pounds of food to food banks across the nation. We talked about that before. So the food banks are already not at full capacity or what they would normally have. So it's like a double whammy going on here for people all across the country, whether it's because of the SNAP or even trying to access food banks. So this is a huge ordeal that's happening and causing strife all across the country. But for the United States itself, for Mississippi itself, we have here Mississippi awaiting guidelines. This is from our local WAPT Jackson. President Donald Trump administration says it will partially fund the SNAP food program in November. It is not clear how much beneficiaries will receive or how quickly beneficiaries will see value show up on their debit card they use to buy groceries. The process of loading the SNAP card, which involves steps by state and federal agencies and vendors, can take up to 2 weeks in some states. Mississippi Department of Health Services officials say that they have not yet received guidance from the USDA. Once a directive has been received and MDHS formulates a plan to distribute funds to clients, we will notify the public via our website or social media. Mark Jones, MDHS Chief Communications Officer, said in a statement. The average monthly benefit is usually about $190 per person. The U.S. Department of Agriculture earlier said that it would not continue to fund in November due to the shutdown, but two federal judges last week required for the to keep the program running. But both give the administration leeway to pay for its entirely or partially. It can take up to 2 weeks to load beneficiary debit cards. And as are the website, according to the website so far, there is no update. The only update, the last update that they have done was on October 24th when they stated that they would not be issued. And then also for their social media, Facebook here, there has been no update given yet on there as well, as of today, the 6th. So I know some people previously was receiving letters stating that that they would not get their benefits from before all of this. So I don't know if when we'll receive an update, whether it's by social media or on the website itself, or if people will receive it in the mail first. I have no clue. But as of right now, the Mississippi Department of Human Services is stating that they have not gotten the guidance, or if they have gotten the guidance, they're probably still in the process of trying to figure out a plan and how to update their systems and get the benefits out to people. So that's where we sit currently for Mississippi. Basically, I don't fucking know. But One thing that I come across when I looked at the social media page that I quickly want to throw out there. If you did not know, for Mississippi beneficiaries, what our governor is attempting to do, all right? Because this right here, okay? This is from Tate Reeves. Welfare benefits are a hand up for those in desperate temporary need. And when taxpayers fund these things, they do so strategically. They're trying to help their neighbors into a better life, a more fulfilling one. That means a job you can be proud of and a lifestyle that is healthy on a physical and spiritual level. In a nation that is printing money daily just to make our debt payments, it doesn't make sense to throw our tax money at anything other than the true necessities. So it makes no sense at all to fund sugar instead of healthy, nutritious meals. I love a soda or candy bar. Who doesn't? But it's a treat on a hard day, and it's best enjoyed with money earned from work, not your neighbor's taxes. That's why we're amending our food stamp rules to allow good sustaining food like rotisserie chickens and disallow sugar, candy, and drinks. If the first ingredient is sugar or corn syrup, it won't be available for taxpayer money anymore. Say what? This has been approved by the Trump administration in 12 states, and I expect Mississippi to be the next. It's just common sense. So I pulled this up. This is the office of Governor Tate Reeves, and this is what's happening. Governor Reeves requests waivers to encourage healthier purchases while using SNAP benefits. Tate Reeves announced today that this is October 31st, announced that he was requesting a waiver from the United States Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Service to ban the purchase of unhealthy processed foods and beverages using the SNAP benefits. Additionally, Reeves requested a waiver allowing the purchase of hot prepared chicken using SNAP benefits. You know why this is? Come on. You know why. Because he thinks a particular group of people have SNAP more than another. Let's be real here. He goes on to state the things that I just previously stated, all his little statements. Once Tate Reeves' request is approved by the USDA, processed foods that list sugar, cane sugar, corn syrup, or high fructose corn syrup as the first ingredient will be prohibited for purchase using SNAP benefits. This excludes granulated sugar, raw sugar, and other single ingredient sugars used for cooking and baking. Beverages that list carbonated water and sugar, cane sugar, corn syrup, or high fructose corn syrup as the first two ingredients will also be prohibited for purchase using SNAP benefits. Beverages that list aspartame or other low or non-caloric sweeteners as the first two ingredients will remain eligible for purchase. So you can buy diet sodas. Oh my gosh. This is the sheer ignorance of. Once approved, hot prepared chicken will also be eligible for purchase using SNAP benefits. This includes items like rotisserie or non-fried, non-breaded chicken. Non-fried, non-breaded chicken. So it will only include fresh, hot rotisserie chicken. Can't get fried or breaded chicken. So maybe he's not attacking who I thought. Mississippi will also collaborate with the Double Up Food Bucks program to encourage and increase the purchase of fresh fruits and vegetables when hot prepared chicken is purchased. Governor Reeves' waiver requests are in line with the Trump administration and Health Human Services Secretary RFK mission to make America healthy again. So yes, Tate Reeves is trying to make it to where you can't. It's going to limit your ability to use SNAP benefits on processed foods. So he's going to try to make it to where you basically can only buy fresh foods. Because, I mean, high fructose corn syrup is damn near in there are loads of products that have high fructose corn syrup in them. I mean, it's hard to find products that do not have high fructose corn syrup in them in America, unless you literally buy only fresh foods. And then we know fresh foods cost more than your processed foods. Are they healthier? Yes, no doubt. But they cost more. So that means that people will not only be able to not buy the cheaper food, what they're considering unhealthy processed foods, but they'll be able to buy less because they'll be forced to pay for more expensive foods. So you'll get less bang for your buck. You'll get less out of your SNAP benefits. While groceries are already still high, along with everything else. Tate Reeves is trying to get a waiver approved from the USDA to prevent you from buying what he considers unhealthy foods. Basically forcing you to, if you're going to pay for that, you have to use your own money. It's no longer going to be used by SNAP. So restricting even more, as if recipients are not already restricted enough on the foods that they can buy and can afford. I mean, the reason why they're on SNAP to begin with, now you're going to restrict them even more by telling them what they can and cannot buy with their SNAP benefits. So there you go, Mississippi. That is your wonderful governor, Tate Reeves. When you think he can't restrict you enough, he will restrict you a little bit more. So I will be trying to keep up with this as well to see whether or not this waiver goes through. Because it might get to where that even though you do get your benefits, whenever you do get your benefits, you might not be able to get the things that you once previously got. And you can thank Governor Tate Reeves for that. And our state government wonders why this past the election yesterday, the election Tuesday, went more to Democrats than previously, and now we have to break the supermajority here in Mississippi. They wonder why. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Whenever I get any more updates on how these benefits will go out, specifically for Mississippi, I'll try to keep up with that. Then I'll let you know. But let me know what you think. And until next time, peace. ClearTalk. I'm out.